Good morning. My name is Tyler Henson. I'm with the MT One Stop, and I'm here to talk to you about the exciting topic of money and stuff. The MT One Stop is a very important office here on this campus. We're up on the second floor of the Student Services and Admissions Center, and our office deals with financial aid and records and registration, all of the enrollment needs that you have after being admitted when you're ready to get started here at the university. It's very important that you know how to get in contact with us. MT1stop at mtsu.edu is our email, and you can always look at us on the web at mtsu.edu/one-stop. So you have several ways that you can get in contact with us there, including through Zoom on our virtual counter. We have a way to talk to people if you aren't able to come in person. You can talk to someone face-to-face via Zoom, so you can join us there. But I want to talk to you about several things that you need to know as an incoming student about financial aid, about fee payment deadlines, and several other things. Again, the MT One Stop is going to handle a lot of your inquiries about enrollment, really anything except advising. We don't do the advising portion here on campus for what classes to take, but we handle student account inquiries, financial aid questions, scholarship assistance. If you need to get a transcript or an enrollment verification, we will help you with that. We assist with registration, especially if you have to late register or add or drop a class late. We have several enrollment coordinators on staff that are here to help you out, and they will be answering your questions via email or in person or however you want to join us. If you join us via Zoom, we'll be there as well. And we also have a food pantry in our office, which I love. It's one of the best parts about our office. It's open to all students and whatever they need. If they need to come by and get food for a day or for a weekend, we can help provide that for them. And so it's a service that our office provides for the entire campus community. So as you're getting started here as an MTSU student, there's a few things that you need to set up online. First, hopefully by now you've set up your Pipeline MT account. Pipeline MT is a critical thing you need to be able to log into, because that's where you're going to register. It's where you're going to view your financial aid information. It's where you're going to pay your bill. Pretty much everything we do on this campus is going to run through Pipeline MT. So again, at this point, you should have set that up, but if not, make sure you have access to Pipeline MT and you can get into it right away. You also want to make sure you can get into your MT Mail account. Now, that's going to be the same login information as getting into Pipeline MT, but your MT Mail account is the official way that we're going to be communicating with you here at MTSU. So you need to be checking that multiple times every day, just to make sure you're not missing out on anything. And please be aware that our IT office requires multi-factor authentication whenever students are logging in off campus or through Wi-Fi. On campus, if you're here, you might not have to do this, but anywhere else, you'll have to do multi-factor authentication, which means you'll have to have a text or an authenticator app on your phone or something in order to say that you are trying to log in to protect your accounts from theft or anything of that nature. So please be aware of that step that you'll have to do. Now, if you have some family members, parents, spouse, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, somebody who's going to want to contact MTSU on your behalf to talk about your records or talk about financial aid, it's very important that you set those folks up as a partner in education. Higher education is a little bit different than K-12. Parents and whatnot, they cannot just call in and ask about how you're doing. Are you attending class? What are your grades? So they have to be authorized, because you're protected by something called FERPA, Federal Education Rights Privacy Act. That prevents your information from being given out as a student. So if you want to add a partner to be able to contact us on your behalf here at the One Stop to ask about records or grades or financial aid, what you're going to want to do is you're going to log into your Pipeline account. If you're on your phone, here's some steps on how to do that. When you get in there, you're going to click on the Registration and Student Records menu. And once in there, you're going to click on Partners in Education. There's a link for it. It's under the Academic Records section. So when you click on Partners in Education, what it's going to ask you to do is to add partners. You're going to give them a PIN, kind of like an ATM, so that when they call, they can give that PIN to whoever they're talking to. And they'll need your MTSU ID number as well. So you'll add whoever you want to add. You can edit and take out people if you need to, but you control who can call in and talk about your records. And when we're working with this Partner in Education program, it's important to know we're going to loop you in as a student on as much of the information and that we have and the communication that we're having with partners. So again, it's a partnership between the student, parent, spouse, whoever in the school. So please make sure you set that up if you haven't already, so that way if somebody does call on your behalf, we can help them out. Now, you can also set somebody up to be an authorized user. Now, this is a little bit different than partner in education. An authorized user is somebody who's going to help pay your bill. So if you have a parent or somebody else who's going to help pay your balance every semester, you can set them up as an authorized user on Pipeline. This does not give them access to anything else except your billing statement and making payments. So they can't see your grades or anything else. They can only see how to make payments. So again, to do that on Pipeline, you're going to go to the menu. This time you're going to go to the billing and payment menu though, and you're going to set somebody up as an authorized user and give them an account to log in. But again, authorized user or partner in educations are different things. Now, something else I really want you to do is go ahead while you're at it and set up direct deposit. You can do this on the billing and payment menu as well. Direct deposit is important if you're going to get a refund. It's the fastest way to get it, especially if you're getting a refund at the beginning of the semester from your financial aid. So make sure you have direct deposit set up. January 10th is the deadline for refunds to be available the first week of school, January 18th through 21st. So make sure you get that direct deposit set up on Pipeline as well. There's a very important document out there. It's called the Registration Guide. Registration Guide is the source for all information for dates and deadlines. It's the official university document for that. Registration Guide, you can see is right there at mtsu.edu/registration guide. We have one for spring and we have one for summer and fall. So we produce it twice a year. And some of the important dates you're going to see on there is a fee adjustment schedule. I bring this up because if you are going to change your schedule around after you come to orientation or meet with your advisor, you're going to want to make sure that you do that by a certain date to avoid potentially being charged additional fees. You have to make all your schedule changes and drop any classes that you want to drop before January 17th to get 100% fee adjustment. Once classes start on January 18th through January 31st, you would only get a 75% adjustment on the classes you're in. So you would not get all your money back if you were to drop a class or drop all your classes after school starts. So January 17th is the last time you get 100%. After that, you get 75% through January 31st. From February 1st to 13th, you get 25% adjustments. And then after February 13th, if you do not get a fee adjustment if you drop classes. So that's important to note. If you drop a class late, you don't get any money back for that. So just some of the stuff that's in the registration guide, the dates that you can drop with grades W, and a whole plethora of other information. So please make sure you know how to access the registration guide. Now, some things for you to remember as an incoming student. There's some things you want to make sure you turn in. If you are submitting a state or teacher discount form to get money off because your parent is a state employee or a teacher, you can submit that on or after November 1st for the spring semester. You do have to turn that form in every semester. Keep that in mind. If you're a transfer student, you want to make sure you're turning in all official transcripts from whatever schools you've been. And if you're currently in progress at another institution, make sure as soon as the semester is over, we get that updated transcript. And if you're a transfer student, make sure you're completing a lottery transfer form on our MT One Stop website if you receive Hope Scholarship at a previous institution so that you can transfer that here. Now, if you're getting financial aid, which most of our students do, you want to make sure that you are checking your status on that and make sure that we don't need anything. There's a lot of times students get stuck in something called verification when they do a FAFSA where we have to get a lot of documentation from you. If that's the case, I need you to check on Pipeline to see if we need any requirements. So get on Pipeline, again, going back to that menu. When you click on that menu, you're going to go to the financial aid menu. And once you're there, there is an icon that says requirements and holds. Now that requirements and holds tab is going to ask you what aid year you're talking about. You're going to talk about the current aid year. And then you're going to look and see what sort of requirements you have out there. There could be a lot of different things. There could be nothing. But whatever you need, make sure you're submitting that. Most of our forms are submitted online. So you can actually just click on them and fill them out and electronically sign them. So that's very easy, very good to have that option, not having to come in person. But if you have questions as you're going through your requirements and holds, you're not sure what you're supposed to be turning in, contact the MT One Stop, and we're here to help. Tell you exactly what documents you need to submit and what you need to do in order to take care of your financial aid for the semester. Something else you're going to see under your requirements and holds for financial aid is going to be something called a Title IV authorization. Now, a Title IV authorization is you telling MTSU that we can use your federal aid to pay for miscellaneous charges. This could be a ton of things. This could be something as little as a parking ticket you got on campus to paying tuition for classes that aren't part of your degree program. It is my opinion that you should authorize MTSU to use your federal aid to pay for miscellaneous charges, but please read the documents and select for yourself. But we definitely recommend that you authorize us to do so, and you have to do so on this form. So this will be one of your financial aid requirements and holds. So again, you're going to go to the financial aid menu, requirements and holds for the aid year that we're in. And then it's going to say federal aid authorization to pay miscellaneous charges. That's the form that you're looking for right here. And so that's what you're going to click on. You're going to select yes or no, and whether to authorize this or not, and then go about your day. But again, I would suggest please authorizing that. That cuts down on a lot of problems later on. Now, once all your requirements are done and we are able to give you your award package, you're going to be able to see that on the financial aid website as well. Going back to that website, you'll see here a little thumbs up that says awards, terms, and conditions. When you click on that, you're going to click on award for aid year, and you're going to select that aid year and hit submit. The first thing you're going to have to do before you see your financial aid award package, though, is select the terms and conditions and accept them. Terms and conditions are just an explanation of what financial aid is all about. It's going to give you a lot of information about the rules for how many hours you have to be in and withdrawing and things like that. So please read over those terms and conditions. Don't just hit accept. But please note too, at the very bottom, if you see any aid down there, you're not necessarily accepting all that aid, you're accepting your terms and conditions. You will have an opportunity to accept aid on the next page. So accept terms and conditions first so that you can get to your award package. So again, click on award for aid year, the correct aid year. And then once you select those terms and conditions and accept them, then you're on the accept award offer screen. Now, the accept award offer screen is going to look something like this. Everyone's going to look a little bit different. We picked one for an example here that showed a lot of different types of aid. If you are getting grants or scholarships, you're going to see that they're automatically accepted. You're not going to have to accept those because that's free money. It's money you don't have to pay back. The only thing you will have to accept is if you're getting federal work study options, that'll be here. And then if you're getting a loan, you have the option to accept or decline that on this page. We will never take out a loan for you. You have to tell us whether you want it or not. So if you're getting loan options, you'll see there what sort of loans you're being offered. You can accept full amounts, you can accept partial amounts, you can accept no amounts. But all that will be part of your financial aid awards, and you'll be able to accept or decline those. Now, if you're getting the lottery scholarship and you don't see that on there, one thing you're going to want to do is go check out on the TSAC student portal to see if that is going to be coming in anytime soon. So check out and see if MTSU is listed as your school. And if not, we're not going to get that information from the state in order to award your lottery scholarship. So look at the TSAC student portal. Is MTSU your school? If not, please change that. And as I mentioned before, if you're a transfer student, you want to turn in the lottery transfer form on our MT One Stop website so that we can know that you've changed your school and you're transferring here. And we got to go out and make sure that you're eligible, and then we'll put that on your account. A lot of people want to know, though, what are the costs? What's it going to cost me to go to MTSU? So what I can tell you is, in general, for 15 credit hours, give or take a little bit, because you might take more, you might take less. As an in-state student, you're going to be paying around $4,700 per semester. An out-of-state student is going to pay significantly more because those out-of-state charges are much higher. If you have questions about being an out-of-state student and options to become an in-state student, we have programs like the part-time, full-time program, academic common market, things like that that you might qualify for. MT One Stop does as well. So contact the MT One Stop and we can tell you what sort of options you might have for earning in-state residency and lowering those tuition costs. But as an in-state student, you're looking at about $4,700, give or take the number of hours you're taking, and also give or take the type of courses you're taking. Some courses have additional course fees that you have to pay, but that gives you a roundabout idea of what you're going to be paying per semester. Now, once you are registered, and we are past December 2nd, because that's when bills come out for spring, you're going to be able to see your bill online. This is an example of what a bill might look like. And at this point, once you have your bill, you have two options on the table. Well, three. Third option is not attend. So if you're going to attend, you have two options on the table. Number one, if you have financial aid, and that financial aid is going to exceed what you have to pay out of pocket. So you see here, this person, their balance is $87.30. And you can see their total credits or anticipated credits from financial aid is over that. So they have a negative balance. You must confirm your registration. When I say confirm, this is you telling the university, I am going to attend, please process all that aid that exceeds my tuition balance, and I want a refund for whatever negative balance is left. So if your fees are paid in full by financial aid or a third party, you get online, you get onto the pipeline, billing and payment menu, click on the confirm registration icon, and you say, yes, I will attend at the top of the screen. And you're going to do that by January 4th. Going back to the screen. January 4th is a date that I need you to do that and confirm for us. Once you confirm, then you're good to go. You're ready to start classes. As long as direct deposit set up to get your refund, nothing you need to worry about. So again, confirm if financial aid covers everything. Now, if you owe anybody, you can see from this example, this person owes a balance of $5,000. You have to pay that by January 4th. Very important that you take care of either the payment or confirmation, whichever one applies to you, by that priority payment deadline on January 4th. And again, you can pay on pipeline. You can come in and pay in person, whatever you'd like to do. You can also do our installment plan. Now, we have an installment plan for students that says, hey, if you owe at least $400 after aid has been applied, you can pay just 25% of that balance up front. There is a $50 service fee that goes with that. But then you'll have 3 equal payments after that. For spring, those payments are due February 28th, March 31st, and April 30th. So you want to make sure, though, that you pay that installment plan first payment by that January 4th deadline. And you can set all that up on pipeline when you go to pay your bill. But that is an option for you to do an installment plan. You might also be interested in having some Raider funds while you're here as a student on campus. This is a fund that's tied to your student ID, kind of like a debit card for on-campus purchases. You can use it at the bookstore, you can use it at eateries, you can use it all over campus. People can make deposits for you so that you have, that dedicated balance of Raider funds to you. And again, some departments like health services, they really prefer you use Raider funds. So if you have them, so Raider funds are great and easy to set up on your student ID. Now, I want to tell you about a couple things that you need to know about financial aid. Number one, you have to take classes that are required for your degree in order to get most financial aid. This is called Coursework Towards Program of Study, or CPOS. It's a name that you'll hear quite a bit. What's very important about this is the federal government, the state government, and a lot of our institutional scholarships, they go by this to say, if you are not taking classes in your degree program, classes that count towards graduation, then they are not going to pay financial aid for those classes. So you might be registered in 12 classes, which is full-time. But let's say one of those classes is underwater basket weaving that you don't need to graduate. You are taking 3 classes that you need in 9 hours, and you just decide to take that class for fun. Well, if you're getting something like a Pell Grant, you won't get that full Pell Grant. You're only going to get the Pell Grant for the 9 hours that do count towards your degree. The other one's going to be out of pocket. Now, you might have some extra financial aid to help cover that. But the important thing is you won't get your full Pell Grant amount, and that could apply to scholarships and many other things. So you have to make sure the classes that you're taking are part of your declared program of study. You work with your advisor on this to make sure that your major is correct, and that all the classes you're taking, you show up as required in order to get your full financial aid. It's also important to know about financial aid that dropping classes can affect it. So you have to go to class. I know this is startling information, but you do have to go to class. If you withdraw from classes, the timing of that could result in you having to pay back some of the aid you received. And if you received a refund, you might have to give that refund back and more. So it's very important that you talk to the MT One Stop before you withdraw to find out the financial aid implications of dropping a class or classes, because dropping can definitely impact your aid and could result in you owing significant money back. So again, hopefully everyone's just going to go to class, never have to withdraw, nothing ever happens. But if it does, contact the One Stop so we can talk to you about what happens if you do drop a class. But if you also just stop attending classes, that's a big problem, because if you're reported as not attending by your instructor or not engaging in the course, then you could also be considered withdrawn and lose aid. So you have to go to class, you have to stay engaged. And another thing about financial aid is the federal government is very picky. They want you to keep working towards that degree, and they want you to meet some benchmarks. Now, luckily, those benchmarks are easy to attain. So to maintain what's called satisfactory academic progress, which means you're making good progress towards your degree in order to graduate. You must have a 2.0 GPA overall. You must have a completion rate of 67%. Now, this means that you have passed at least 67% of the classes you have attempted. Non-passing grades don't count. So we're talking about classes that you attempted and passed. So if you have a lot of withdrawals or a lot of fail grades on your record, that could impact your passing rate. So as long as you're staying above 67%, you're okay. And you have to finish your program within 150% of the program's length. So if you're in a program that is 120 hours long, like most MTSU programs, you have to finish that program within 180 credit hours. So if you're changing your major or doing double majors or doing something that's really extending how many hours you're earning as an undergraduate, that could eventually hurt your ability to get aid. But the more important thing to remember is 2.0 GPA and 67% passing rate is critical in order to keep getting financial aid. Otherwise, you could lose your ability to receive federal and state aid and institutional aid in some cases. All right, that's a lot of information, and I know that's a lot to hear, and you might have questions. I encourage you to connect with us in a variety of ways. We have several social media platforms that you can join now that you are starting your career with us. You can join the MTSU class of 2025 if you're a freshman. You can join the MTSU transfer student community if you're a transfer student. And if you're a parent, you can join the MTSU Parent Family Association. Now, you'll just pick one. You'll pick the one that applies. Parents, you can't be over here in class of 2025. Students can't be in the parent page. So pick one that applies to you and join us and talk to us and ask questions. It's a great way to connect with administrators, other students, other parents. And again, you have questions about all this, please contact the MT1 sub. Our contact information is right there on screen. Email's great. Come by in person. We'd love to talk to you. Join us on the virtual counter, which you can get to from our website. But reach out to us and talk to us if you have any questions about financial aid, money, payment, whatever the case may be as it relates to enrollment services. And we are here to help. We look forward to seeing you around campus. We look forward to seeing you in our office. And we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.